I need everyone quiet because we are going to, hold on. We are going to finish the worksheet that we started yesterday. We had one more problem to go. So I want to finish that. And then Joe has a question.
Same with you.
And anybody else may have a question too. We'll get to that. But right now, let's do the last problem so that we can say we have done the entire practice test.
I can't find it.
Tell me your joke.
Where have you been, my friend?
8 years ago. Years ago.
Place you gum?
Say yes.
I have gum? No.
Did it go well?
Did you have it?
Not gum?
All right, let's make sure math goes
That's what you
well.
just said. I said,
Go
well,
ahead.
All right, problem number 15. This is one of our little word problems. Problem number 15. This is one of the easier ones. Find the angle of elevation of a duck in the pond to a hawk at the top of a tree. So here's my hawk, here's my duck. I want to find the angle. The duck is 100 feet from the base of the tree, and the tree is 32 feet tall. All right, so you look at the problem. Does it look like I have it set up right?
Yes.
Okay, so then I decide I'm gonna write an equation. My equation is gonna be either sine, cosine, or tangent. What's it gonna be? Tan x is always tan
Tan negative
angle.
1.
And then you gotta go tan -1.
Now to find the angle.
Second.
Remember, I don't do any work. There's no math involved. I go straight to the calculator and type second tangent 32/100. When do I use my second tangent, second sine, second cosine? When do I use those buttons?
You're trying to find the angle.
When I'm trying to find the angle. So you just gotta pay attention. If you are trying to find an angle, then you're gonna second, in this case, tangent. And the angle is 17.74 degrees. Right? Our next thing we're going to is the one called Pretest, Chapter 4. But I will answer, I'm going to answer your question, Joe. Is your question on Pretest in Chapter 4?
No.
Okay, then I will do it right now, because that's the next thing I'm going to do. Okay, Joe?
Oh, brother.
Go.
Oh, sorry. Find the exact value of tan parentheses sine to the -1/4.
Okay, so let's, first of all, let's read it correctly, first of all. It's find the tangent of the angle whose sine is 1/4. We did one of these, just not very long ago.
Can't this be a calculator problem?
I know
This
what to
would
do.
not be a calculator.
I know what to do. Okay.
Whenever it says find the,
Quadrant 4.
whenever it says find the exact value is by hand. Because what happens when you type it in on your calculator is you get a decimal like this that you have to round off. Is that exact? No.
No.
If I want an exact answer, I have to do it by hand, right? Not every problem is doable by hand. This one is. I start right here. I'm going to draw a picture of a triangle that has a sine or angle that has a sine of 1/4. Now, why did I put it in quadrant 1? Because that's a positive number. And every time that's a positive number, it goes in quadrant 1. Right?
Right.
Now, let's finish the picture.
Where's it to?
If that's 1 and that's 4, then this would be square root of 15. And what do I want to know about that
Tangent.
picture? I want to know what its tangent is. So its tangent is 1 over root 15, or root 15 over 15.
I have a question. It's like, so if you had a negative number, then would the answer be like, okay, for the one, it was like one, like, C, I think, and like, we were finding the angle of like that, but like we found the angle and then we made it negative pi over 6. Was that, do you do that every time it's not in the first quadrant?
If you are doing the inverse function, so if you have this notation, or tangent or cosine, and that's a negative number, then you put it in a different quadrant, not quadrant 1. So if it's an inverse tangent or sine, it goes in 4. So if it's a cosine, it goes in 2.
So then would the number, or the answer automatically be negative then?
If it's in quadrant 4,
Okay,
that if it's an angle you're looking for,
okay.
yeah.
And then in quadrant 2 it would be positive.
It'd
the
be,
angle.
but it'd be bigger than 90, so it'd be a number bigger than 90.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at any more questions, and then we're going to pretest chapter 4. All right, find it. Again, it's all packed in there, so you're going to need a separate sheet of paper.
Wait, what is this word on it?
It's called Pretest chapter 4.
Are you ready?
It's all on one page, all squished up.
Hey, I supported that. What review is that?
Take this page.
It's a pretest. One with the word problems on the bottom.
I believe it's the only one that
The
says
one that says
pretest.
pretest.
This shouldn't be that hard. Just start looking at the top of every page. All right, here we go. Number 1. The ones with stars will need a calculator for. So no stars mean no calculator. So cosine, I want to find sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, cotangent. And I know that the cosine is negative 2/7, which automatically means my secant is negative 7/2. And to find all the rest of them, I'm going to need a picture. I'm going to read my directions very carefully because they're going to tell me where to draw the picture. The directions tell me between pi and 3 pi over 2.
Quadrant 3.
Quadrant 3. 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. Here we go. That's our setup. In radians. That's your setup. So the angle has a cosine of negative 2/7. This is just like the one we had just a second ago. We need to finish the triangle. So what will,
3 root 5.
it'll actually be negative square root 45, but Dana's right. That's 3 root 5, ain't it? 49 minus 4. And now we can just start filling things in. So sine is negative 3 root 5 over 7. Tangent is negative, actually it'll be positive 3 root 5 over 2.
Okay, how's it? Wait, how's it positive on that?
Negative over
Oh,
negative. Cosecant is negative, or 7 over negative 3 root 5. Now, when you rationalize 7 over negative 3 root 5, you don't worry about the 3. You only have to worry about the root 5. So that'll be 7 root 5 over negative 15. 5 times 3. And then cotangent is 2 over 3 root 5. So 2 root 5 over 15. 2 is a calculator problem. Now be careful, 11 pi over 7 is a radian. There's no degree mark, it's a radian. So I gotta make sure my calculator is in radian mode. And then I'm gonna, how do I type in secant? 1 divided by cosine 11 pi, and please use your pi button, divided by 7.
What is that?
4.4940.
Well, it says 10 and 1.
No, I'm not there yet. I'm
That's a
on
different problem.
It's a different
That's a-
problem. There's a comma.
Yes, Steve.
So for the first part, 4.4940. Got it?
Yeah.
We don't get good by watching. We get good by doing. So make sure you are
It's like
typing.
a boat.
All right, now, next one, second tangent. I have that button, so I'll just press it. Second tangent, negative 2/3, negative 0.5880.
Yeah.
All right, now we'll put the calculator away for a minute. Now we're gonna sketch. And then list all of the stuff. Okay. So whatever's going on here,
Bless you.
it's starting at pi over 4. Did you agree with that? And it is a sine curve, so it's gonna start right there and go up and down like this.
Oh,
Did you agree with that?
here's the
Top is 2, bottom is negative 2. I heard somebody say the period is pi. Because the period is 2 pi divided by this number.
Yeah. So,
Now,
5 pi over 4.
stop, exactly. This is not pi. This distance is pi. So we're gonna find this point right here by taking pi over 4 and adding pi. And that's 4/4, so this is gonna be 5/4. Right in the middle of 1 and 5 is 3. And in the middle of 1 and 3 is 2. And 3 and 5 is 4. And I know some of those simplify. Feel free to simplify them if you want to, but I'm not counting it wrong if you don't. So what is my amplitude? 2. What's my period? Pi. Frequency?
1
1 over pi. Phase shift, that's your horizontal shift,
Plus 5 over
plus pi over 4. And vertical shift?
none.
None. I would put 0, but you can say none. That would not be wrong. Okay, perfect. Find the exact value, so no calculator, tan 2 pi over 3.
And
So that's 120.
No. That's your.
120.
So here I am. Here's 120.
60/30.
So I'm gonna drop a perpendicular down, and this is the important one, right here. That's 60. That's 60. 120, 180. So this is root 3, 1, and 2, and that one's negative. And I want tangent. Tangent is negative root 3. Root 3 over negative 1.
Yep.
find the area of the shaded. So we have a radius of 2 and an angle of 140 degrees. One of the area, not arc length, area.
140,
140
simplify.
3/60ths of the circle is shaded, right?
Simplify.
So 140 3/60ths, which is 7/18. So I have shaded 7/18 of the whole. What would the whole area be?
11.
4, 5.
4 pi. Pi r squared. Pi r squared. So I'm gonna multiply that. I get 28 pi over 18, which is 14 pi over 9 square inches. The area is 14 pi over 9 square inches. All right. Next, now we've got a picture, and we have to write an equation for that picture. Now, think about, the test is ready, it's right there. So think about, this is what we're coming up with right there, all right, that's our goal. So I'm gonna write, I got a number here, sign, number, X number, potentially. Some of those might end up being 0, but potentially, would you agree that I have all those blanks to fill in?
Yeah.
And also for the cosine. And we talked about that I'll do one or the other, doesn't matter which one I do first, but then a lot of those numbers just get repeated down here. So it's not like two completely separate problems. All right, so we gotta start with something. When you look at that picture, what do you think? Do you think something? What do you think, sine or cosine?
3.
Sign.
Sine?
What?
Now, and that's okay, at some point we have to think sine. If we think sine, then I think we're gonna start at negative pi over 10. At negative pi over 10.
Which is just pi over 10.
So that means x plus pi over 10.
Yes.
And the amplitude is 3. And the vertical shift is none, so you can leave that blank, leave that off, or just put plus 0 there. And what appears to be our period? Now we're going from negative 1/10 to 3/10.
1/2 pi.
So negative 1/10 to 3/10. How far is that?
4.
So our period is 4 pi over 10, which is 2 pi over 5.
Yeah.
So what's that number?
5.
5. Because to find our period, don't we take 2 pi and divide it by that number?
Yeah.
So there is an equation for a sine curve. Now, if we make it a cosine, the amplitude, the period, and the vertical shift are exactly the same.
Yeah.
The only thing that's different is, if it's a cosine, you're starting someplace else. So look at that, where would we be starting if it's a cosine?
0.
At 0.
0.
Isn't it starting where it's supposed to?
Oh, sorry.
All right, number 7 is calculator problem. And we're doing it in degrees. So I honestly can't remember how our calculator's set. Make sure it's in degrees for problem 7. Because the directions tell me, there's no other reason other than I'm following directions. All right, so what am I gonna do? I'm solving this little trigonometric equation.
Add 7 over.
gonna add the 7 over and divide by 3, so if I do that, would you say this is what we have?
And we're in between.
Now. Guys, wait a second. This looks just like my duck on the pond problem a minute ago. What am I looking for?
Inverse angle.
So I am gonna type on my calculator, inverse tangent, 17/3.
Yes, 79.992.
Now, wait a second, I mean, probably, I don't know, but just time out. We are to find all of the angles from 0 to 360. So in other words, we're going all the way around. Now, Dana has already told me that one of the angles is, what did you say?
79.99.
79.99? Anybody else get that?
Yeah.
Okay,
He's correct.
so then you gotta stop and ask yourself, is there another place besides quadrant 1 where the tangent can be a positive number?
3.
Quadrant 3. So your second answer is the 79.99 angle in quadrant 3. Which remember, you start at 0, so that would be this pink thing, right? So how are we gonna find that?
Plus
One-
2 plus.
180 plus
Yeah.
79.99? So your second answer is 259.99 degrees. So your first answer was the 79, and then your second answer is gonna be the 259.
If there was like a triangle in the fourth quadrant, or is that possible if there's a, obviously not for this equation, but like.
You absolutely could have one in the fourth
Would you
quadrant.
add like, how much would you add by
You
another?
would subtract from 360.
Or you know 270.
No.
No, that's not, that's,
No.
you can't do that. Just have to
No.
actually-
No, your triangle is never associated with 270.
No,
It's
no.
never associated
yeah,
y-axis.
yeah.
Never.
It's
Yeah.
never gonna be associated with 270, so
Third.
if you're using 270 and 90,
You got it wrong.
you're guaranteed wrong.
Incorrect.
Alright,
He's done that before, so.
alright. Number 8, last one before lunch, here we go.
Oh, already?
I know, time flies.
Time flies.
Time flies when
We're
you're
locked in.
Time flies when you have fun, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
We're locked in, Mr.
you're
Floyd.
locked in.
Do we have to switch it over to radians?
You know, he has, you got payback for last one.
First thing, it's another calculator problem, it's got a star, but notice the directions. Now, we're looking between 0 and 2 pi, which means we have to be in radians. It's exactly the same kind of problem, but we're gonna do it in radians. So, I'm gonna subtract 3 and divide by 4. Would you say cosine
1/4.
equals 1/4?
So,
So I'm gonna type on my calculator, second cosine 1/4.
75.52.
Okay, so he's got an angle in quadrant 1, but he said 75. He hasn't changed his calculator.
Oh, you're right, no, you're right. You're right.
1.31.
1.31.
1.31, I mean, is that right? 2 of you say that?
Yeah, 1.31. No, 1.32. 1.32.
32,
No, you're good, you got it wrong.
Is 1.32 okay?
Yeah.
Alright, now, remember, the calculator's a magnificent machine, but it only will give you one answer. You're on your own if there are more. So is there another place where the cosine is positive? Quadrant 4. So you have a 1.32 angle in quadrant 4. So you're looking for this angle right here.
Minus 260.
No, it's 2 pi. It's 2 pi.
Oh, minus 2.
Would be 3. It's 4.96.
So we're gonna take 2 pi
Minus.
minus 1.32. What
4.96.
did you say that is?
4.96.
4.96?
Yep.
Help me out, is he right?
I'm right.
I'm
Trust me, trust me.
Now,
He's right.
the question might be in some of your minds, well, Mrs. Ford, could I say negative 1.32? And the answer is Not this time. Because the directions tell you
Oh, positive.
that it has to be positive.
Right.
So therefore, while negative 1.32 is the right angle, it's not positive. So we have to use the 4.96.
Wait, why is it not possible?
Because it's
Gotta be positive, gotta be bigger than zero. All right? All right, I'll see you back at 45. Buy some candygrams, make someone happy.
I'll get one from the
There you go, get one for LeBron. Get two for LeBron. How many points you have last night? I don't even know. I had so many, I lost track. You have a bad knee. Oh, yeah, bad knee. We don't need any more bad knees in this class.
Yeah, right.
We got enough of that.